he said, winking at me with a wide grin. I am Zeus, come down to stand here with you stupid mortals. Right here before your very eyes. Yeah, right, I said, shouldering him away. I remember all those times Zeus clipped his divine toenails into my Captain Crunch at the kitchen table like it was yesterday. And all the birthday punches, with one for good luck, too. Every time. The gods are so benevolent. As my brother cracked up, I smiled and took another sip of my beer. Because I felt happy, too, then. Or maybe suddenly at ease was a better way to describe it. Truth be told, I'd been a little reluctant to make the trip up from Philly and all the way back home after all these years. Actually, more than a little. Even with the fact that my oldest brother was finally tying the knot. There are reasons why some people leave the place they were born and raised and never come back. Usually, they're very good reasons. But maybe, I thought as I took in Tom and the billion-dollar scenery some more, maybe this wasn't such a big deal after all. Time had passed, quite a bit of it, and didn't they say that time heals all wounds? At least it wasn't a big deal as far as Tom was concerned, I realized. Despite his new ginormous pockets, Tom was still just Tom. Tom, who used to let me ride back home on the handlebars of his 10-speed from Little League practice when I was a kid. Tom, who let me read his comic books as long as I kept them neatly in the plastic covers. Tom, who hit a kid who was bullying me in the head with a basketball from half court in the schoolyard that time. Just Tom, I thought, looking at him as the summer wind scattered some more expensive sand across the back of my pale neck and knees. Only with a couple of specks of white in his black Irish hair now, and more than a couple extra zeros in his bank account. Okay, I'll bite, I said then, only because I know you're dying for me to ask. How much is it running you? What, you mean with the staff and everything? Tom said, comically wrinkling his brow. Tom had already mentioned the chefs and the maids and the gardeners and even the chauffeur and limo that the rental came with, to heighten the full modern money-be-damned Great Gatsby experience. Yes, the whole kit and caboodle. Out with it, moneybags. How much? 5, Tom said, staring at me calmly. 5? What do you mean, 5 what? He looked at me again silently for a beat before I got it. If I hadn't already just swallowed my beer, I probably would have spit it all over him. That's impossible. 500 grand? $500,000 for the season? I said in shock. Oh, no, my brother said, chuckling softly as he shook his head. He gave me another wink as he brought his own beer to his lips. That's just for July, Terry, he said. Just July. 2. Just for July? My wife, Vivian, said. It was half an hour later, and we were upstairs in one of the mansion's dozen huge white-on-white Ralph Lauren photo shoot bedrooms. It seemed like everything in the interior of the massive beach house was a blazing brilliant white. I'm talking everything. The ceilings, the walls, the couches, the intricate millwork, the slender Euro chairs. And just when all the blazing whiteness wasn't done with you, your mind had to try to wrap itself around the size of the rooms. Because it just didn't compute. Even upstairs, the ceilings had to be 15 feet high. If the house were a museum, it was as if we now had the Egyptian section all to ourselves. Just for July, Viv said for the second time. That's what the man said, I told her from where I was lazing back shirtless and barefoot in the center of a huge bed that had perhaps once belonged to Henry VIII or maybe Genghis Khan. But that's like $16,129, I said, having already done the math on my phone. A day. Oh my goodness! How? How, Terry? Viv said in a frantic whisper as she carefully closed the top drawer of the priceless-looking white bureau she was unpacking our stuff into. I smiled over at my wife. Just out of the Carrara marble cave of the shower, she was in a fluffy bathrobe, her golden blonde hair up in a towel. She